Choice and consequence is generally seen as one of the three pillars of RPG design, the other two being combat and NPC interaction. It's also the one most modern titles fail at delivering meaningfully, particularly in open-world games. The reason for this is fairly obvious. The graphical exigencies of modern games makes creating content that may not be seen by most players to be a waste of money, especially in this age of greased-up, monkey-suit-wearing publishers concerned only with steadily increasing profit margins. And from a purely economic point of view, it makes sense. Why spend the resources making variable content when you could just use that money to further polish and expand on the aspect of the game all players, and most critically, all reviewers, are going to see? Especially given the unfortunate reality that a vast number of gamers don't even finish most games once, much less multiple times. And the less said about reviewers doing the same, the better. While I understand this reasoning, I also strongly disagree with it, and here's why. I guess for me, what makes video games a unique and valuable artistic medium is not even so much its interactivity, but its variability. A book will only ever unfold one way, House of Leaves doesn't count, as will a movie or a piece of music. That's simply the nature of linear entertainment. A video game, on the other hand, isn't restrained by any of that, and while games may rarely have the payoff of, say, Sergio Leone's indisputable masterpiece Once Upon a Time in the West, they're also capable of something even Leone could only dream about. Something that's been iconic to every Piranha Bytes game made to date is their multi-faction system, albeit to varying degrees of implementation based on the game. What's unique about it is that every major event plays out more or less exactly the same, yet your faction allegiance lets you see it from a different perspective. For example, in this game, Gothic 2, which, by the way, is probably the best action RPG ever made, bar none, no competition, the faction you choose, whether it be the city militia, as we've been seeing here in the quaint harbor town of Corinus, the sepulchral, ominous walls of the Monastery of the Fire Mages, or Lee's band of not-so-merry men with the portentous, dark clouds of insurrection hanging from every mercenary's sleep-deprived eyes, and the... Whoa, got a bit off track, waxing poetic about Gothic again. Sorry about that. That's just how good this game is. Anyway, where was I? Your chosen faction of City Militia, the Fire Mages, or Lee's Mercenaries unlocks different dialogue and reactions from nearly every major character in the game. That's, of course, in addition to the mountains of faction-exclusive quests, dialogues, items, and skills. So the end product for a PB game isn't so much 3 games in one, but really more a uniquely fleshed-out single game that can only be fully appreciated by looking at it from 3 different angles. Yeah, like a sculpture in an art museum. So I guess the next time your art history professor extols the virtues of Michelangelo while calling video games a vapid, brainless waste of time, all you need to do is hand him a copy of Gothic 2 and ask him to figure it out. Yeah, don't actually do that. Oh, right. ELEX. While it's impossible to know the exact breadth of ELEX's choice and consequence from the information available, I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that the confirmed multi-faction system will be just as well defined as it was in earlier PB games. The main difference now is just that this time the game will be on a much larger scale. There's also something that's been missing from their past 2 games that's been wonderfully reintroduced. Nearly every character in the game is killable, and yes, that's character, as in named characters, not just generic NPCs. And in fact, from what can only be a nod to Telltale's Walking Dead series, you're given a maybe slightly ridiculous note that the death of, Bommy has changed history. I'm not sure if there's going to be an execution system like there was present in the Gothic series in the first Risen, but regardless, it's great to see it back. And that's not all. It looks like for the first time in a PB game, there's going to be an actual wanted system based on line of sight and informing the local guards. So basically, if you can snuff out your snitch in silence beforehand, you won't be penalized. This includes both robbery and murder, which carry different financial penalties. Oh, and apparently if you refuse to turn yourself in, and if the fines grow enormous, bounty hunters will be sent after you to bring you in, which to me is just... indescribably awesome. Though I can't deny that a system like this could potentially make thievery more annoying. I mean, seriously, when you got caught by the psychic guards in Oblivion...
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Did you ever actually pay your fines or hang out in jail? Or did you just reload a save and go about your merry way? Be honest. But still, a tangible feeling of risk-reward is the mark of a great RPG, so I'm quite excited. No more minus 50 glory for attacking a seasoned official for me.
Brutal.
The final issue I wanted to touch on in regard to choice and consequence is that it looks like ELEX will be relying on procedurally animated conversations rather than expensive cutscenes for most of its NPC interaction. While you won't get the glorious cinematics of games like Mass Effect 2 or The Witcher 3, what it does mean is that there's a lot more room for variation in nearly every aspect of the game's story, which, for an open-world title of the size and scale of ELEX, is a very, very big deal. And that's a perfect segue for my next video, which will be about the size of the world of ELEX and open worlds in modern RPGs. We're not out of here yet, though. YouTube user Matthew Owles asks, "Great, mate, love it, keep it coming. So only 20 people making it? Do you know how long it's been in development? For instance, Witcher 3 had 200 people making it over 3.5 years. I am thinking of getting Risen 3 before this." Well, Matthew, thank you for the comment, and I just wanted to say that, yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure that Piranha Bytes actually expanded to 25 or 26 people this year, but I assume that as far as veteran developers, there are probably only been about 20 people making it. On the plus side, they've been spending quite a while on it. They've said it's been in the back of their heads for a decade now, and it looks like there's been some form of production on it going on for about 5, maybe 6 years. So, they've certainly put a lot of time into it. So it won't have the quality of animations or cutscenes as The Witcher 3, but at the same time it will probably have some things that The Witcher 3 lacks. I also recommend Risen 3 a lot, actually. Just take it slowly and don't get too bummed out by the combat in the early hours, like a certain other well-known YouTube reviewer. Thanks very much for the question, Matthew, and if anyone else has any questions or comments, be sure to leave them below, and I'll probably feature them in the next episode. Bye.